Over 50 years ago, when I felt the burden of developing sport as a ministry, to my knowledge, only one country outside the United States had this. There was virtually nothing. It just didn't exist. Very few people gave sport as ministry even a second thought. Today, the sports movement is in over 240 of the world's 252 countries, islands, and territories. Tens of thousands of churches and hundreds of agencies all working together. And guess what? There's a compelling reason for this: relational leadership. But not leadership as most know it, not by a long shot. One of the special things about my life is how God has done His things in His way, in His time, without my design, my intention.
You look at Eddie and say, he probably had a great childhood. I was shocked to hear he had one of the most contrary childhoods somebody could have.
There's no easy way to start something like sport ministry when most of the church was negative towards it.
I was not being applauded. People thought that I was crazy, it didn't make any sense.
God took him on a journey that was not easy.
I was traveling to as many countries as I could travel to, normally 20 to 30 countries each year, to begin to build a sports movement throughout the nations.
Multitudes through the centuries have given their lives for their faith.
It was frantic. It was a lot, crazy pace, but there was a method to the madness. It was all about connecting people with other people.
Eddie just kind of appeared and Eddie was around.
Relationships and friendship was the most important thing, following the New Testament model.
People would see Eddie around, they say, "Who is Eddie? You know, what's he doing? Is he your agent? Is he involved in your businesses?" And I'd say, "No, he's just a friend."
Eddie always discipled us, mentored us to serve your friends.
Relationships are the most precious possessions in Eddie's hands.
This idea of creating something collaboratively with people from completely different cultures and completely different experiences, and it was unbelievably powerful.
The movement has a strategy of modeling things where it doesn't make sense. Just don't be afraid of failure.
It's safe to take risks, safe to make mistakes.
Failure is not an option, not here. That doesn't work in our movement, because in our movement, failure is an option.
That's really where it's fun, is to pioneer something in a space that nobody's been before, be willing to take the risk.
And if it works, take your idea and multiply it.
And then when you look at all the different strategies of the sport movement, there are now thousands of different ways that people do sports ministry.
He's the most brilliant catalyst I've ever experienced in my life. He is the best leader I've ever met, but he's the most unseen leader I've ever observed.
Probably used by God to accomplish as much in the last 50 years as anybody on the planet, and yet nobody knows it.
No stage, no mics, no garlands, no welcome.
He lives his life as a servant. He leads from behind, he sits at the back, he wants to raise up other people.
It was always about Jesus. It was never about him.
So whether you're an elite athlete or working hard to lead a sports ministry, a church, a family, a team, a club, a business, or virtually anything else, this film will equip you with simple yet lifelong relationship lessons, no matter who or what you are leading. Only by looking back can I recognize these lessons and see people and the world change in unique ways. My hope is you'll be one of these people. Oh, and one other thing. After watching this film, you'll never again see a bus in the same way. Enjoy the story.